How many of you remember 1982? Specifically, the summer of 1982. Let me jog your memory for a moment. The World's Fair was set to hit Knoxville, Tennessee. Everybody was running to the movieplex to see a little alien named E.T. And the absolute best music video of all time, Michael Jackson's Thriller, had just made its way to MTV. And every little boy's dream was to be Bo or Luke Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard. The same would be said about this particular 4-year-old boy who went running out of his house to catch up with his older brother and some of his friends out in the yard playing. And when he got to them, they were huddled around a fire. And outside of that fire, they had a 2x4 that was leaned up against a tree. Coffee can full of gas and matchbox cars. They would drip those matchbox cars in gas and run it down there, acting like they were on Dukes of Hazzard. Well, one of the friends wanted to make the fire bigger, so he picked the can up, threw it through the gas, not knowing what would happen to the 4-year-old boy on the other side. He was engulfed in flames, and lucky for him, his older brother had learned the stop, drop, and roll method at school earlier that year. Ran, tackled his brother, put the flames out, but the damage had been done to over 30% of his body. Mother came running out, scooped the boy up after she heard the screams, put him in the car, took him to the local hospital where they packed him in ice immediately, put him in an ambulance for a long, hour-long trip to Vanderbilt Medical Unit. His life was in limbo. His parents were getting prepared for the worst news ever. But 2 months later, that boy left that hospital. And he made it to the World's Fair. And he's standing here talking to you today. I tell you that because my father told me the moment I left that hospital, son, you're going to be a leader one day, and I want you to lead with fire. What does that mean? It means two things. Number one, we have an obligation as leaders to give you 100% all the time, all the energy that you have. Lead with that fire, whether you're the custodian or whether you're the lawyer. Do your role the best. The second meaning of that was to not let this accident become a crutch. Do not feel sorry for yourself. As a matter of fact, use your accident to help somebody else. My father was wise. It took me 48 years to realize that. But he had a lot of country popisms, as we like to say, a lot of country logic. One of those things where I came home one day, I was upset because I was being made fun of at school. And he said, son, you can get knocked down in the mud, but that doesn't mean you have to wallow with the hogs. That meant pick yourself up and go on. He said, Jeremy, if you think you're the smartest in the room, you need to find a new room. One day, me and my brother were arguing, and you can see my energy. I don't ever lose a fight. He said, Brian, my older brother, son, you can't out-puke a buzzard, so don't even try. We have a ton of those popisms, and I love that because they didn't mean anything to me at the time, but they mean the world to me now. And as unique as those sayings were, he had an even more unique way of delivery of those messages. An SMS system that's more powerful than a cell phone today, a Post-it note. And I want to share with you today lessons that I learned from a Post-it note from my father. As an example, the first Post-it note that I got, I was a sophomore in high school. And I wasn't playing on the basketball team as much as I thought I should be playing. And I came home, and on my pillow, there was the first Post-it note. It said, you shot the ball great tonight in warm-ups. Be ready. Okay, all right. 2 years later, I scored my career high. Boy, I couldn't wait to get home. I said, this is going to be a good one. He's going to leave a good one. He's going to say, great job. I got there. I had a career high of 30-plus points. I got there, and there it was. He said, you could have rebounded better and passed the ball more. Be ready. He had a unique way of encouraging and humbling me when I needed it. I want to share 3 stories with you today, 3 Post-it notes that are the most powerful for me that my father ever told me. My first coaching job as a head coach, I was a 22-year-old head basketball coach in the high school realm here in Middle Tennessee. I had arrived. I had played college basketball under the most winningest coach in OVC history at Austin Peay named Dave Luce, and I knew everything there was to know about coaching. So if we lost, it was not my fault. It was the players' fault. Never forget getting that post-it note, and that post-it note said, Jeremy, true power only comes to those that do not seek it. Be ready. He was telling me that if you seek the spotlight and you seek glory, you're never going to find it. I was so good, our first year we went 5-21. That would be 5 losses, 21 wins, for those that don't know. The second year we improved to 6-20, and you can see how that kind of went for me because I was using kids to get to some stature that I craved for. We have an obligation as leaders to not only share the spotlight with those that you lead, I tell you differently. Take the spotlight and point it at those people. Share it. There's a famed coach here in Middle Tennessee, football coach, named Coach Jimmy Gentry. Coach Gentry was a World War II veteran, and I got a chance to meet Coach Gentry at a little place called the Three-Way Market. He would be sitting in that front window every single time I went in there, legs crossed. Everybody would go, shake his hand. I was like, who is this guy? And I asked him one day, I said, Coach, how did you get so successful at what you did? He said, it's very simple. I remember it on my hand. And each phrase represents a knuckle. You ask the question to the people that you're leading, how can I help you today? Then you go to 4. And you tell them, I'm proud of you. And then you go to 3, I love you. And you keep going down that list. And then you tell them, thank you. And the last and the most important is we. Not I, not my team, not my players, we. My father was trying to tell me to quit seeking power, treat those people that you lead appropriately and with the right energy, and things will happen. My second post-it note came later in my career when I was a 32-year-old principal. And I never forget, he knew what was about to happen because he was a public educator before me, a teacher. He was an administrator, a superintendent, and commissioner of education under Ned Ray McWhirter back in the mid-90s. And he said, you're going to be faced with some tall tasks and some tough decisions. And that post-it note read, when I got it, as soon as I went into the office, I read it and said, if you're going to err on the side of humans. See, policies and procedures and guidelines that we all set up, that we all live by, are guardrails for us. Right? Those micromanagers, those leaders that are not very effective, they use those as gotcha. Our job is talent development. And if we don't develop that talent, we use those policies and procedures as a gotcha moment. I never forget, we had a staff of 42 in this building. I was the second youngest as the principal in the entire staff. 5 of those teachers had me as a student. You can imagine what kind of culture I had. And I never forget, we had a teacher march a kid up. We had a policy, a dress code policy that said, any holes between the knees and the shoulders is a discipline infraction. Very simple, very clean cut. She marched this student up there and she said, this kid's out of dress code. It's unacceptable, and what are you going to do about it? Well, this poor young lady had her jeans flayed open. Took her to the office and said, hey, what can I do for you? What's going on? She said, my house burnt down. I'm living in the back of my truck with my dad. It's all I've got. And I said, I'm glad you're here. We got her some clothes. We got her some food. We sent her back. And let's just say we had a very impromptu, salty faculty meeting that afternoon, where we decided at that point in time that before we did any kind of disciplinary, as leaders, we're going to find out the why before we do anything. We had 1,000 discipline referrals that year before that. 2 years later, we had 52. It changed the culture. Because if you're going to err on the side of humans. My third and last point tonight is in my second coaching stint, because there's 2 types of coaches, those that have been fired and those that are going to be. I was trying to outrun that, so I thought they didn't know what to do, so I'm going to go over here because they'll know what to do because I know what to do. I know what to do. I never forget it. There it was, the post-it note. Jeremy, turn your scars into stars. Be ready. Scar tissue, folks. They, you can't let your past define your future. Take those scars and learn from it. We have a saying in our office that says, "Fell often and fell forward." It's the only way you can learn. So I'm coaching this team. Show up. We're having practice, and there's a young man by the name of Nick on my team. Nick was the smartest, highest basketball IQ of any kid I've ever coached, but he wasn't the most athletic, and we were an extremely athletic team at the time. Couldn't quite deliver it on the floor like he needed to, but he could tell everybody where to go, every play, defense, scout, he knew it all. But he was extremely angry all the time. So one day in practice, I'm riding him hard in practice. He takes his jersey off, throws it in my face, says a few choice words, walks out and quits. You know what I said? Good. I slept like a baby that night. We had the best practice to date after he left because we weren't walking on eggshells the whole time. Next morning, I get a call from that counselor, and she says, "Hey, I need you to come up here." I get into the office. There's Nick. Nick says, "Coach, I don't need you to take me back. I don't deserve to be back. But I want to tell you something." I said, "What's that?" "You never asked why. I could not climb under that desk fast enough. That power I was seeking had blinded me. The policies and procedures and the team rules, I didn't care about humans. I was about me." He said, "My father lives 100 yards from this school, and he's never watched me play a single game. He's an alcoholic." He said, "I don't even know where my mom is. I don't even know what I'm going to eat tonight. I wanted you to know." I said, "I'll tell you what we're going to do, Nick. You're going to go play another sport, and then in the fall, we're going to come back with a clean slate for your senior year." He said, "Okay." We shook hands, and we left. He went and ran track. Remind you, not the most athletic. Then rode around to the next school year. He played football. Hadn't done that in 5 or 6 years. And I go to the coach. I know he's not playing. I'm really interested in his attitude. I said, "Hey, Coach, how's Nick doing for you?" He said, "One of the best pickups we've ever had." I said, "He's not even playing." He said, "He's running scout team quarterback. We don't even have to send coaches to the field. He's got those JV and those freshman kids. He's got them running sprints. He knows exactly what they're supposed to do, and he's made us better." Fast forward to the basketball season. We're in this game. We haven't beat this team in 8 years. Ball goes out of bounds under our basket. 0.3 seconds left. In the rule state in 0.3, it has to be an alley-oop style in the air, catch and shoot. You can't catch it and shoot it from the floor. Call timeout. I'm getting over here with my assistant coaches. I'm like, "Hey, we got to run triangle. We got to do this. What are we going to do?" And he said, "Wait." I said, "What?" I turn around. Nick, walking to the table, checks himself in. Comes back, grabs the whiteboard. Kids are huddled. Now, I looked at him at that time. I said, "What do you think we do?" He said, "You shut up." So we rolled the dice. And I walked over there, and I heard him saying, "Now, look, you've got to do here. I'm going to sell the," I said, "You got to sell the," he said, "I'm going to sell the fake, Coach. You've gotten us ready. We know what to do." What do you say? Get it up. Let's go. He walks out. Referees hand him the ball. He's throwing it in because I asked him, I said, "Who's throwing it in?" He said, "Who else? I'm going to throw it in." He sells a fake. The kid jumps. He throws the ball to the front of the rim. Guy comes in perfect off the screen. Buckets. Game over. We win by 1. People storm the court. Me and Nick go directly to each other. We're hugging. We're crying. It took a 16, 17-year-old boy to teach me how to not seek power, how to treat people. I'm happy to tell you today that Nick is a first-gen college grad, married, military career. Uncle Nick is what we call him in our house. He's come to watch my kids play t-ball and baseball and basketball growing up. Turn your scars into stars. I want you to do me one favor tonight. I'm going to challenge each and everybody here tonight. You go home today, tonight, tomorrow, sometime in the near future. You go in there and you find you a perfect, brand new Post-it note stack, and you find somebody to write them an encouraging letter. But I want you to do me one favor in honor of my father. I want you to write at the bottom, "Be ready." Thank you.